Welcome to Science Beyond Sleep. Every night, we take a quiet step into the hidden world within us, the world of sleep, dreams, and the science of the mind. Tonight's journey begins with a question we've all wondered, often alone in the dark. Why do we dream? Where do those strange, vivid images come from? And what do they say about us? So, find a comfortable place. Let your thoughts slow, and let's explore what really happens behind your closed eyes. As we uncover the mysterious language of the dreaming brain, the night within, close your eyes. Let the world around you soften. The edges blur. The sound of the day, with all its movement and voices and plans, begins to fade. Let it fade. There is nothing left to do right now. No decisions to make. No clocks to watch. Let the moment stretch out before you like an open sea at night. Tonight, we aren't traveling to faraway planets or distant galaxies. We're not diving to the bottom of the ocean or climbing to the top of a mountain. Instead, we are going inward, into one of the most mysterious, magical, and forgotten places you carry with you every day, your mind while you sleep. Sleep may seem like an absence, an empty chapter, a black curtain between the end of one day and the beginning of another. But inside your mind, while your body rests, something extraordinary happens. Sleep is not a shutdown. It's not a void. It's an orchestra, a theater, a laboratory, a library, a temple, all at once. And it all happens in silence. This is the world we'll explore tonight. A world hidden behind your eyelids. A place made not of stars and stone, but of waves and sparks. The place where memories are shaped, where emotions are healed, where dreams are born. And you don't need anything to visit it. No ticket, no bag, no plan. Just your breath, just your stillness. Just your curiosity that will drift through the stages of sleep like a leaf floating down a quiet stream. We'll explore the rhythms, the secrets, the science, and the poetry of the sleeping brain. The systems that quietly maintain you. The quiet rituals your mind repeats every night. The untold stories that unfold when you're no longer awake to. See them. So, take a slow breath now. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. Let your thoughts float by like clouds. No need to follow them. They can keep drifting because you're not here to think. You're here to wander. You're here to dream. Let's begin. The descent into sleep. Sleep doesn't come all at once. It arrives slowly, like the dusk, like fog rolling in over a quiet lake. First, the light changes. Then, the air grows still. Then, without you realizing it, the world shifts, and you're somewhere new. Your journey into sleep begins before you even close your eyes. It begins when your brain starts releasing a hormone called melatonin, the chemical messenger of night. As the sun sets or the lights dim, your pineal gland, a tiny structure deep in your brain, responds to darkness like a lighthouse keeper turning down the lamp. Melatonin starts to flow through your bloodstream, whispering to every part of your body, it's time to rest. Your temperature drops, ever so slightly. Your heart begins to beat more slowly. Your thoughts, once loud and structured, begin to lose their shape. You might feel yourself blinking more often. Your focus begins to slip. A warm heaviness settles into your limbs. This is the descent, the edge of wakefulness, but you're still awake. For now, if someone were to measure your brainwaves at this moment, they'd see that the fast, sharp beta waves of focus and logic are starting to fade. In their place come alpha waves, smoother, slower, more relaxed. These are the rhythms of daydreams, of meditation, of drifting attention. And as you hover at this borderland, something beautiful begins to happen. The line between thought and dream blurs. You may see flickers behind your eyes, not full dreams, but fragments, a flash of color, a familiar voice, the sense of falling or floating. These are called hypnagogic images, the doorway art of sleep. They are the brushstrokes your brain begins to paint as you leave the world of logic and enter the world of wonder. You are no longer entirely awake. But you are not yet fully asleep. You are descending. Soon, the curtain will fall. The orchestra of consciousness will fade into silence. But even in that silence, the brain begins its most extraordinary work. The light doorway. As you continue to drift, gently, the doorway to sleep begins to open. This first stage is brief, often lasting just a few minutes, but it is delicate and important. It's the soft hinge between two worlds. One foot remains in the waking realm, but the other begins to step into the vast and silent night of the mind. Your breathing slows. Your heartbeat becomes a quiet drum. Muscles begin to loosen their grip. If someone were to speak your name now, you might hear it, but not clearly. Sounds begin to bend. Familiar voices feel distant, like echoes heard through a dream. The body remains aware enough to notice a sudden change, but the mind has begun to surrender. This stage is marked by theta brainwaves, slower, gentler rhythms that ripple through the mind like waves across a still lake. These waves are slower than alpha, slower than the brain's normal alert mode. They're associated with creativity, intuition, and that strange state of half-sleep, where a thought becomes a story and a memory becomes a hallucination that it's. In this phase that many people feel a sudden jerk, a falling sensation that startles them just before they slip into deeper sleep. Scientists call it a hypnic jerk, and it may be the body's last check before letting go, a quiet question from the brain. Are we safe? Are we still here? And when the body answers yes, you drift on. And while this stage seems light, fragile, and easy to disturb, it is also a gatekeeper. If disturbed here, the mind reawakens quickly. But if left in peace, the descent continues. The conscious mind falls away, and the sleeping brain begins its work. Somewhere in this fragile phase, the boundary between thought and dream dissolves. You may see short, vivid mental images, flashes of color, the feeling of motion, the memory of a place that may or may not exist. These are hypnagogic hallucinations, brief, floating fragments of imagination. They may last seconds or seem to stretch. You cannot hold them. They vanish when noticed. But they're the first glimpse into the other world, the world behind. Sleep. This moment, short though it is the first true step into the night within. You are no longer watching the world. You are watching your mind begin to dream, the memories whisper as the light doorway fades behind you. You begin to slip into a deeper layer of sleep, stage 2. You spend nearly half your night here, though you may never notice it. It doesn't carry the drama of dreams or the stillness of deep sleep. But stage 2 is quiet magic. It is where memory begins to whisper, where your mind, like a librarian working after hours, starts to organize your day. Your body is growing heavier now. Your limbs are limp. Your eyes, beneath their lids, stop rolling. Your heart rate continues its gentle descent. The outside world fades even further away. And within your brain, something remarkable starts to happen. Tiny bursts of activity, like sparks, begin to fire across your neural landscape. These are called sleep spindles. Brief, rhythmic pulses of electrical energy that appear suddenly, last a second or two, and then vanish, like a firefly in the dark, or a brief twinkle in the sky. Alongside these spindles are K-complexes, large, slow waves that rise and fall like distant thunder. These two patterns define stage 2. But they are not random. The spindles help protect your sleep, shielding your mind from disturbances. When you hear a sound, a car door, a creak of the floor, your brain senses it. But the spindles rise like guards and hush the noise before it can wake you. It's as if your brain says, "Sure, not now. We're working." And what work it is, during this stage, your mind begins to sort and store. It sifts through memories from your day, what you saw, what you heard, what you felt. Like a gardener tending to seeds, the brain decides what to keep and what to let go, what to root deep and what to let drift away. Some memories, like where you parked your car or the name of a stranger, may fade. Others, like a conversation with someone you love or the feeling of a success, are reinforced. This is also the time when your brain begins to integrate, not just storing facts, but connecting them, making sense of things. Patterns form quietly here. Emotional experiences are softened. You don't just remember what happened. Your brain begins to decide what it meant. Studies show that people who sleep after learning something new often perform better the next day. Why? Because the brain keeps learning during sleep. These sleepy hours, especially stage 2, are like an overnight editor reviewing your experiences, rewriting your understanding, and shaping your next waking self. And so, though you are still, your brain is not. It's active in a different way, not shouting, but humming, not thinking, but weaving. And with every moment that passes in stage 2, you drift deeper, toward the quiet center of sleep, toward the body's most ancient rhythm, the deep reset. You are now entering one of the most powerful parts of the night. Stage 3 sleep, often called deep sleep or slow-wave sleep, is the body's most restorative state. It is here that the deepest repairs are made, the greatest silences unfold, and the brain sinks into its slowest, most deliberate rhythm. Your breathing has slowed to its lowest pace. Your heart beats in long, lazy thumps. Your blood pressure has dropped. Your muscles are still, soft, quiet. And inside your brain, something changes. The electric activity that once flickered and sparked is now rolling in slow, vast waves, called delta waves. These are the slowest brain waves we produce, wide, deep, and rhythmic, like the pulse of a sleeping planet. In this state, you are almost unreachable. A loud sound might not stir you. A gentle shake might not wake you. If someone did wake you now, you would feel confused, thick with sleep, your thoughts moving like syrup. That groggy sensation has a name, sleep inertia, and it tells you that your brain was far away, in a place beyond awareness. This is the reset state, the time when the body does its most essential maintenance. Cells begin to rebuild, muscles repair, bones strengthen, wounds begin to heal. The body releases growth hormone, one of the key players in physical recovery. In children, it helps with development. In adults, it helps repair what the day has worn down. But it's not just the body that's being cared for. Deep sleep is when the brain cleans itself. Using a special system called the glymphatic system, it flushes out waste, including proteins that, when left to build up, are associated with neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. Imagine tiny rivers opening inside your brain, washing away debris in silence. All of this happens without your awareness. A cleansing ritual that only occurs while you're asleep, and emotionally, too. Deep sleep matters. Research shows that people who don't get enough deep sleep are more prone to anxiety, irritability, and depression. The brain needs this silence, this stillness. It doesn't just make us rested. It rebuilds who we are. What's fascinating is that deep sleep dominates the first half of the night. Your brain prioritizes it, front-loading the night with this intense repair cycle. Later, it will shift gears. But for now, it is focused on one thing: restoration. This is the ocean floor of sleep, the lowest, most mysterious part of the journey. You are far from the surface now, far from thought, far from motion. You are not dreaming here, not remembering, not planning. You are simply resting, more deeply than at any other time in your day, in a place where silence is not empty, but full of restoration, full of ancient patterns, full of peace. And while you rest, the world goes on. But you are here, deep below the surface, renewing from the inside out. Part 5. Chapter 5. REM, the theater of dreams. At last, we reach the most mysterious and vivid chamber of sleep, a stage unlike any other. It's called REM, short for rapid eye movement. And this is where the dreams begin. That you've passed through the quiet stages of rest. Your body has healed. Your mind has reset. Now, your brain enters a new state, one that looks, from the outside, almost like being awake. REM sleep is paradoxical. On a brain scan, it seems as if you've returned to full consciousness. Your beta and theta waves begin to flicker and dance again, much like they do when you're awake and alert. Your breathing becomes irregular. Your heartbeat speeds up. Your face might twitch. And behind your closed eyelids, your eyes begin to dart around rapidly, as if watching something unfold behind the curtain of your mind. And in many ways, this is when the dreams begin to bloom. Not vague flickers, like in stage 1, but fully formed stories. Places, people, emotions, even impossible things. Flying, time travel, conversations with someone long gone. Entire universes, made in seconds. In REM, your brain builds worlds. But why? One reason is emotional processing. REM sleep plays a key role in how we handle strong emotions, especially fear, stress, and grief. When you go through something intense during the day, your brain replays it during REM, but in a softened, safe setting. Like a play being performed again and again, but with new lighting, new costumes, and eventually, a new meaning. You may not remember the dream, but the emotion is being sorted, smoothed, filed into place. Another function of REM is creativity. The mind in REM is unbound by logic. Different parts of the brain, especially the amygdala and hippocampus, light up and connect in strange ways. Artists, writers, scientists, many have said their best ideas came in dreams. Paul McCartney dreamed the melody to Yesterday. Kekulé saw the shape of the benzene molecule in a dream. In REM, the brain becomes a surreal laboratory, and yet, during this intense mental activity, your body remains paralyzed. This is called REM atonia, a natural paralysis that keeps your body from acting out your dreams. It's your brain's way of saying, this is all in your head. Let it stay there. REM sleep doesn't just happen once. You cycle through it multiple times during the night, usually every 90 minutes. And as the night goes on, REM periods get longer and more intense. That's why your longest, most vivid dreams often occur just before waking. So if you've ever woken up with a strange image still lingering, a glowing forest, a forgotten friend, an impossible city, chances are you were just emerging from this very stage. REM is your private theater, a place of shadow and spark, a space where your mind rehearses, rewrites, reimagines. And though it can feel bizarre or chaotic, it is deeply healing. REM sleep doesn't just entertain. It restores your emotional balance. It connects your thoughts. It tells you things you didn't even know you knew. And when the play is over, you drift back, quietly, into the next cycle, back through the stillness of deep sleep, back through the gentle gates of stage 2, until the next curtain rises. Part 6, Chapter 6. The sleep cycle. A night in loop sleep is not a straight line. It's not a steady descent into deeper and deeper rest until morning. Instead, sleep moves in loops, elegant, repeating cycles that carry you through the night like a tide, gently pulling you out and in again. On average, each complete cycle of sleep lasts about 90 to 110 minutes. Within that time, your brain travels through all the stages: light sleep, deep sleep, and REM, then returns again to light sleep and begins the loop once more. You go through this cycle 4 to 6 times each night, with each loop having a different flavored in the first half of the night. The cycles are heavy with deep sleep, the kind where the body repairs and the brain detoxifies. It's like your mind is doing its housekeeping early, making sure the shelves are stable before adding more books. But in the second half of the night, things shift. Your deep sleep shortens, and your REM periods grow longer. Dreams stretch out, emotions stir, memories stir and reform. Your brain is no longer focused on repair. Now it's creating, connecting, and imagining. This rhythm, the shifting balance between stillness and story, silence and spark, is how your brain performs a full reset every night. It's not just about rest. It's about renewal. Physical, emotional, and cognitive renewal. And there's something beautiful in this looping structure. Each cycle is not identical, but it follows a familiar path. It's like a symphony with movements, repeated but varied. With each return to REM, your dreams evolve. With each return to deep sleep, your body anchors. With each reentry into light sleep, your mind flutters near the surface, and sometimes you briefly wake up, a moment you won't remember. Just a flicker of consciousness between loops, a shift of position, a swallow, a sigh, then back down again, back into the spiral. The sleep cycle is one of the brain's most elegant patterns, and it happens without thought, without effort. It is an ancient, silent ballet, one that evolved long before you were born and continues every night, behind the scenes, even when your days are noisy, even when your mind is full, even when you feel lost. The cycle continues, and the more regularly you sleep, going to bed and waking at the same times, the more gracefully these loops flow, like a pendulum finding its rhythm. The next time you feel yourself drifting off, imagine the spiral beginning again. The descent, the silence, the story, a dance of chemistry and consciousness, carrying you round and round the night. You are not falling. You are circling, and each loop takes you deeper into yourself. The mind's mirror, dreams, mysterious, fleeting, and often strange. They are perhaps the most poetic part of the human experience. Every night, while your body lies still, your mind becomes a painter, a filmmaker, a storyteller. It builds people and places, replays moments, bends time, rewrites reality. And when you wake, much of it vanishes, like mist burned away by morning light. But why do we dream? That question has fascinated humanity for as long as stories have existed. Ancient cultures believed dreams were messages from gods, windows to the soul, glimpses of the future. Modern science offers different answers, but no less mysterious. Point one theory is that dreams are a way for the brain to process emotions. When you dream, your amygdala, the part of the brain that handles fear and feelings, lights up. And yet, during dreams, the stress hormone cortisol stays low. This allows you to experience emotions without being overwhelmed by them. It's like watching your feelings in a quiet theater from a safe distance. Another theory says dreams help with problem solving. The mind, free from rules and logic, explores ideas it wouldn't dare while awake. You may dream about an old friend and wake up knowing what to say to them. You may dream of falling and realize what's holding you back in real life. You may dream about nonsense and wake up feeling clearer than before. Somehow, the mind sorts its puzzles in the dark. Some scientists believe dreams are simply the result of the brain trying to make sense of random neural activity. That what we see, those strange images and scenes, are the mind's attempt to build a story from scattered sparks. But even if that's true, the stories are still yours. The symbols come from your life. The meanings belong to you. And some dreams don't seem random at all. Many dreams are made of pieces from your day. A face you saw, a sound you heard, a thought you forgot you had. This is called the day residue effect, your brain reshuffling. The deck of daily experience. Sometimes these pieces are rearranged into pure fantasy. Other times, they repeat something very real, a conversation, a fear, a wish. Then there are recurring dreams. The same place, the same theme. Maybe you're always running, or trying to speak, or searching for someone. These dreams often hint at something unresolved, an emotional knot the brain keeps returning to night after night, hoping to untangle it. And sometimes, we become aware, we realize we're dreaming. This is called lucid dreaming, the rare state where the dreamer becomes the director. Some people use it to explore their mind, face their fears, or simply enjoy the feeling of flight. But even in lucidity, the subconscious is in charge. The dream world remains a mirror, showing you not what you want to see, but what you need to, because that's what dreams are. A mirror, not of the world around you, but the world within. And like a mirror made of water, it ripples and changes. It hides and reveals. It distorts and reflects. Dreams can be beautiful, frightening, comforting, confusing, but they are always honest in their own language. You may not remember them, but they remember you. And in that strange, gentle remembering, you heal, sleep, and memory, building the self at night. Every experience you have, every face you see, every word you hear, they all become part of you. But memory is not a perfect recording. It's not just about storage. It's about meaning. And that meaning is carved, smoothed, and reinforced while you sleep. Sleep is where memory becomes identity. During the day, your brain is in record mode. Every sight, sound, and emotion is processed quickly. But the brain is busy, too busy to deeply store most of it. That's why so much of what you see or do vanishes within hours. Only a few moments are chosen for long-term memory. The real sorting begins once you fall asleep. Scientists call this process memory consolidation. It's like the brain is taking a scattered stack of index cards, full of thoughts, feelings, facts, and faces, and slowly filing them into drawers. Not just randomly, but with purpose. Emotional memories go in one drawer, language in another, movement in another still. There are three major types of memory that sleep helps consolidate. Declarative memory, facts, names, dates, concepts. This is strengthened especially during deep sleep. Procedural memory, skills and habits, like playing piano or riding a bike. These benefit from both deep and REM sleep. Emotional memory, feelings tied to events, people, or situations. These are deeply processed during REM sleep, where dreams reframe them. And this isn't just theory. Countless studies show that people who sleep after learning something perform better than those who stay awake. A nap, even a short one, can lock in learning. It's as if sleep takes what you've gathered and rewrites it onto more permanent pages. But sleep doesn't just store memories. It edits them, strengthens the useful, weakens the noise, and connects the dots. If you've ever had a eureka moment in the shower after a good night's sleep, You felt this editing in action. In children, this process is even more intense. Their brains are growing rapidly, absorbing language, patterns, emotions, and much of this growth is stitched together in sleep. That's why babies sleep so often. It's not laziness, it's construction. Even in adulthood, memory is never static. Your brain continues to update and evolve who you are, night after night. Sleep allows you to rewrite how you think about yourself, your past, your goals. And each time you dream, each time your brain replays something from your day, it adds nuance, softens rough edges, and sometimes reshapes the story to in this way. Sleep is not just rest. It is selfhood. It's how your brain quietly says, "This is who you were today. Let's decide who you'll be tomorrow." And as this memory building continues, your sense of time stretches. The night may feel short, but within your mind, years of learning, sorting, and integrating are happening. You may forget your dreams. You may forget what happened at all, but your mind remembers. And your future self will thank you. Sleep and the body. Healing from within, while the mind dreams and memories form, another process unfolds in the background. Ancient, vital, and deeply physical. Sleep is medicine. Not the kind you swallow, not something prescribed, but the original healing system built into your biology. When you fall asleep, your body begins a series of restorative rituals, silent, powerful, and incredibly precise. Every system in your body, from your immune cells to your muscles to your skin, begins to repair, replace, and renew. Let's start with the immune system. During sleep, especially during deep, slow-wave stages, the body produces cytokines, special proteins, that fight off infection and inflammation. Your immune cells scan the body for trouble. They multiply and learn. They store knowledge from previous invaders, like a memory of sickness, so you'll be more prepared next time. Sleep is when your body rehearses how to defend itself. In fact, even a single night of poor sleep can weaken these defenses. But with each hour of restful sleep, your internal army grows wiser. Next is the musculoskeletal system, your bones, your joints, your muscles. All day, you move, stretch, lift, bend. Even the smallest motion creates tiny tears in muscle fibers. But that's not a bad thing. It's how strength is built. The real rebuilding happens during sleep. In deep sleep, your brain releases growth hormone, not just for children, but for you. It tells your body, now is the time to repair. Muscle tissue regenerates. Bones strengthen. Joints receive increased blood flow. Ligaments and tendons rest. This is why athletes emphasize sleep. Without it, training doesn't lead to growth. It leads to breakdown. Even your heart and blood vessels use sleep to recover. Blood pressure drops. Heart rate slows. This cardiovascular vacation allows your circulatory system to rest from the constant demands of the day. Chronic lack of sleep has been linked to heart disease, high blood pressure, and stroke. Not because the heart works harder at night, but because it needs that rest and sometimes doesn't get it. Your digestive system also slows down, giving the gut time to heal and rebalance. Hormones like leptin and ghrelin, which regulate hunger and fullness, are reset. If you've ever felt hungrier after a poor night's sleep, this is why. Sleep isn't just about energy, it's about appetite control and metabolism, too. Then there's your skin, your body's largest organ. While you sleep, blood flow to the skin increases. New skin cells grow and replace the damaged ones. Collagen is rebuilt. This is why sleep has long been called beauty rest. It's not just an expression, it's cellular truth. Even your eyes, behind their closed lids, take this time to renew. The fluid in your eyes is replenished. The muscles that control movement finally relax. The tiny cells that allow you to see light and color begin to refresh themselves. When you wake, you're literally seeing the world with repaired eyes. And it all happens silently. You don't feel it. You don't hear it. But it's there, a biological orchestra playing beneath the surface, carefully repairing every system you need to live, to move, to think, to be. This is why the phrase sleep it off has truth behind it. A wound heals faster. A cold fades sooner. A sore muscle recovers more completely. Sleep isn't passive. It's active healing. The next time you feel pain, exhaustion, or strain, let sleep be your first medicine. Give your body permission. to mend itself. It knows what to do. It always has, and every night you close your eyes, you give it that chance. Sleep is powerful. Sleep is healing. But like any natural process, it can sometimes be interrupted, gently, subtly, or in deeply disruptive ways. And when sleep breaks, the effects ripple through your entire life. Millions of people live with sleep disorders, often without realizing it. They may blame stress, age, or lifestyle. But behind the fatigue, the mood swings, the forgetfulness, there may be something more. Let's start with the most common. Insomnia. Insomnia isn't just about struggling to fall asleep. It can also mean waking too early, or waking often, or sleeping for hours and still feeling exhausted. It's a fracturing of rest, and it can happen to anyone. Sometimes insomnia comes from outside, loud environments, late-night screens, irregular schedules. But sometimes it comes from within, anxiety, grief, or depression. The mind loops, the body tenses, and the natural rhythm of sleep gets tangled. Over time, insomnia becomes self-sustaining. You begin to fear the night, expect to lie awake, and that very expectation becomes part of the cycle. It's not just a matter of rest. It becomes a relationship with sleep that must be gently healed. Then there's sleep apnea, a condition where the airway collapses or becomes blocked during sleep. The sleeper may not notice, but their body does. Breathing pauses. Oxygen drops. The brain wakes, just enough to fix the problem, then slips back down. Over and over. People with sleep apnea often don't remember waking, but they never reach deep, restorative sleep. Their nights are full of micro-awakenings, and their days are full of fog. Apnea is more than snoring. It's a hidden battle for breath. Another group of disorders affects the boundaries between waking and sleep. Narcolepsy, for example, causes sudden drops into REM, vivid dreams interrupting daily life. A person may feel paralyzed, unable to move or speak. Some collapse, suddenly when laughing or excited. It's a disorder not of sleep itself, but of sleep regulation, like the brain's switch is misfiring. Then there's restless legs syndrome, RLS, an urge to move the legs, often accompanied by strange tingling or burning. It may seem minor, but it disrupts sleep profoundly. The body wants stillness. The legs want motion. And the tug-of-war continues long into the night. More mysterious still are parasomnias, unusual behaviors during sleep. Sleepwalking. Night terrors. Sleep talking. These arise mostly during non-REM sleep, when the body should be quiet, but somehow, old instincts break through. The sleeper may walk, eat, shout, even run, unaware. And when morning comes, they remember nothing. And then there are the quiet, invisible struggles. People who simply can't sleep deeply. Their brain never enters restorative cycles. They sleep long but wake tired. They drift near the surface, but never descend. This can come from trauma, from illness, or for reasons we don't yet understand. That what's clear is this: sleep disorders are not weakness. They are not laziness. They are not choices. They are signals that something in the brain-body rhythm is off. And like all signals, they deserve attention, compassion, and care. The good news? Sleep, even when broken, is resilient. The brain wants to rest. The body wants to heal. And with time, support, and understanding, many sleep disturbances can be soothed. From gentle routines to professional therapies, from breathing machines to calming habits, healing sleep is possible. Even after years of struggle, even when it feels distant, because at its core, sleep is not fragile. It's foundational, and it remembers how to come home. Why we dream. Theories and mysteries of all the mysteries sleep offers, perhaps none is as strange or profound as this. Why do we dream? We close our eyes expecting rest. But inside our heads, an entire world opens. Characters appear. Emotions unfold. Events take place that never happened, yet feel deeply real. It's as if the mind refuses to sleep, even while the body lies still. But what purpose does it serve? The truth is, no one knows for sure. Not yet. But across time, from ancient poets to modern neuroscientists, we've gathered clues. Point 1. Theory says dreams are a way to process emotion. During REM sleep, the brain replays feelings that were too intense to resolve while awake. Loss, excitement, fear, longing. In dreams, these emotions are softened, wrapped in metaphor. You may Not dream of the exact thing you fear. But your mind shows you something that feels the same. In this way, dreams act like a gentle rehearsal, helping us face feelings without being overwhelmed. They offer distance. They offer context. They help us let go. Another theory focuses on problem solving. In dreams, the usual rules don't apply. Logic loosens. The brain explores ideas in strange and nonlinear ways. That's why some of our most creative thoughts arrive while we sleep. Artists, inventors, writers, many have credited dreams for breakthroughs. In the mind's private theater, ideas collide, and sometimes they click. Then there's the idea that dreams help us rehearse survival. Our ancestors lived in dangerous, unpredictable worlds. Dreaming, some scientists believe, may have been nature's way of running simulations, practicing responses, preparing for threats. The predators in our dreams may be echoes of very real challenges from a distant past. Other researchers point to memory consolidation. Dreams might be the byproduct of the brain storing long-term memories, replaying and reweaving the day's events, like a mental editor cutting and stitching film. Some say dreams are meaningless, just noise from the brainstem, firing randomly as the cortex tries to make sense of it. But even if dreams are sparked by randomness, the storylines we create aren't random at all. They come from us, our fears, our desires, our unresolved questions. And sometimes, dreams do what nothing else can. They show us a version of ourselves we've forgotten, a younger self, a future self, a version that forgives, or that needs to be forgiven. Then there are recurring dreams, a hallway you never reach the end of, a room from your childhood, a voice calling from water. These dreams are persistent because they're unfinished. The mind keeps circling back, not to torture us, but to help us resolve something quietly, lingering. And in the strangest cases, dreams can feel more real than waking life. Vivid color, deep emotion, a sense of truth that fades only after we wake. These dreams often stay with us for years. Why? We don't fully know, but it suggests the dreaming brain can hold truth, not always literal, but emotional truth, symbolic truth. Dreams are the language of the unconscious. And though the grammar may be strange and the symbols confusing, it's worth listening. Because dreams don't come from outside. They come from deep within, a place we can't always reach when we're awake. Whether your dreams are peaceful or wild, joyful or strange, they are you, talking to yourself. And perhaps that's the truest purpose of all, to remind us that even in darkness, even in silence, the self continues, and it wants to be understood. Tonight, you've traveled far, not across space, but into yourself, into the folds of the mind, into the ancient rhythm of sleep. You've seen the layers. You've watched the waves. You've wandered through your own dreaming cathedral. Let yourself stay in this rhythm. Let your breath soften. Let the thoughts fade. Your brain knows what to do. It doesn't need permission to rest. It only needs space. And you've given it that. If this story helped you drift into sleep or helped you understand the quiet miracle of rest, please like this video. Subscribe if you'd like to join us again for more calm explorations of science, wonder, and mystery. And if you have a topic you'd like us to explore, something beautiful, puzzling, or forgotten, share it in the comments. We read everyone. But for now, rest. Dream. Let your mind continue the journey without you. You've already gone deep, and the night is still young. Good night.